Ever thought about where fairy tales come from and what they're really about? Fairy tales are part of so many cultures and they really draw us in. But have you ever been curious about where they come from, or what they're secretly trying to tell us? What if we told you they're not as simple as they seem? That there's a dark side to these charming stories, so buckle up, we're about to dive into the hidden depths of these favorite tales. You know how we think of fairy tales as sweet bedtime stories? Well, get ready for a surprise. Let's talk about some of the classics like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White. We've all heard them a million times and loved their happy endings. But do you know where these stories come from? The real stories behind these fairy tales are way scarier than you'd think. They started out as downright terrifying stories full of nasty stuff, like Cinderella. In the first version, her stepsisters chopped off bits of their feet to wear the glass slipper. And in the end, birds pecked their eyes out as payback for being mean and sneaky. Not exactly the Cinderella we know from Disney, huh? And don't get us started on Sleeping Beauty. The original story didn't have a romantic prince but a king who, well, let's just say he wasn't very nice to her while she was asleep. And Snow White? The evil queen was her real mom, not her stepmom. And how did she die? By dancing in red-hot iron shoes till she keeled over. These stories weren't even meant for kids at first, they were more like warning tales for grown-ups. They used to tell these around campfires to scare each other about how cruel and dangerous the world could be. Over time, they cleaned up these stories to make them kid-friendly. They turned into stories about hope, magic, and good winning over evil. But the scary stuff is still there if you look closely. So next time you read a fairy tale, just remember, they weren't always about princesses and magic. These were some serious, scary stories created to teach kids about the tough side of life. Fairy tales are more than just magical stories. Sure, there's a lot of cool stuff like princesses, dragons, witches, and giants, but they're also about real, everyday stuff. Think about all the lessons they teach us. Take survival, for instance. There's always some kid getting lost in the woods, sold off, or stuck in a tower, but they always manage to get out of it, right? They use their brains, they're brave, and they keep on going. It's like these stories are telling us we can handle whatever life throws at us. They use their brains, they're brave, and they keep on going. It's like these stories are telling us we can handle whatever life throws at us. Then there's the whole power thing. Kings and queens, rich and poor, big and small, it's all there. These stories show us that power can be nasty, but it can also be shaken up. They're like little reminders not to just go along with things, to stand up against what's wrong, and to fight for what's right. And of course, we can't forget about the bad guys getting what they deserve. Wicked stepmoms, lying cheats, mean bosses. They all get a taste of their own medicine in the end. It's like the stories are saying, hey, don't be a jerk or you'll get yours too. But it's not all doom, and the good guys get their rewards too. The nice princess, the honest worker, the brave hero, they all get their happy ending with loads of love, happiness, or riches. It's like the stories are giving us a high five for being good people. So, fairy tales are like a mirror, showing us what we're scared of, what we value, and what we believe in. They give us a way to make sense of the world and tell us how we should behave. So next time you're reading a fairy tale, look past the magic. You might find some real gems of wisdom and understanding. Even though they're pretty dark, these stories have stuck around and changed over time, becoming a big part of our cultural storytelling. They've helped shape all the stories we tell today, from books to movies, filling them with timeless themes and tricky moral questions. The brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, and Charles Perrault may have written these stories a long time ago, but we can still feel their impact today. From scary movies to gripping novels, their legacy is all around us in our creative world. These stories, dark beginnings and all, still grab our attention, reminding us just how powerful and complex telling a story can be.